What's up there, internet? This is all going to my YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Linda, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Linda. I put out a tweet this morning saying, how do I start a podcast? Because I've been thinking a lot about, like, all the tech bros keep talking about taste, and I feel
Yeah,
like I have a lot of hot takes on it, and I want to talk and broadcast my thoughts to the world. And
okay.
James here responded, and now we're streaming. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah, literally internet. You know what I mean? Like, what a weird thing that you could just tweet that out and then this is what happens, right?
Hell yeah.
You know? Yeah, so I talk about taste because everybody talks about taste and it's like a tech bro thing, like you said. And what means taste? What is taste, right? Like taste to me is different from taste to you. So, tell me, what are your hot takes? Give the hottest take.
Yeah, like I'm trying to like flesh out like a thesis so that I can ground myself in something right now.
Okay. You're
Um,
currently in SF.
I am an SF.
Yeah, and I'm in New York City.
Yeah, well, different scenes. I spent
Yeah.
like a few months in New York, and I didn't hear taste brought up once in New York.
No, these are words that like we throw online, but like in actual conversations in New York City streets, like none of this shit comes up. Like nobody's like walking around being like AI or, any of that kind of shit.
Yeah, like no one gaff. It's like yeah. I think I think for me like I've always understood taste as just like subjective and aesthetic as like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? And there's like certain baselines for like public consumption that dictate art is good.
Hmm.
Um,
And
but
actually give some context to this too, because like, so I'm 44 years old. How old are you?
oh, I'm 19.
Okay. So our tastes might be subjectively different, but also as a human or humanity, they might be very, very much the same, very much aligned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I think like there's like a baseline that like, design and art is made for human consumption.
Hmm.
And so human centric design kind of yeah, there's that like shared context. Like you're designing for a person, the person's gonna see it.
Hmm.
And like maybe the people have different experiences, but there's still like some part of like just like being socialized within a society that
Hmm.
results in like certain aesthetics being like meaning certain things. Like it's just like visual language. It's like visual language at a in a fundamental like from a fundamental view.
Yeah.
Um
Oh, and Fly
yeah.
just joined. We're gonna throw her in the mix.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, Linda. What's up? I'm Fly.
Oh, nice to meet you, Fly.
I heard we're
Wait,
talking.
I can't lie. When James said that Fly was joining, I was like, oh, like is this like Twitch vernacular for like random people joining streams?
No, it's
yeah.
me. I'm real. I'm not real, actually. I just live in the internet. I heard we're talking shit. I heard we're talking some
Yeah.
smack tonight.
We are gonna talk some shit because we have to talk about the topic that you tweeted out or liked that I tweeted, and
I've been ripping some likes on you, baby. You know I like your tweets.
I get a little saucy with it for sure. Gotta do hot takes. But we were just talking about taste, and so
The only
she's
moat that remains.
the only moat, right? The only moat. And Linda's very different from me. She's an SF. She's 19. I'm 44. Like we were just talking about the differences in taste, right? And the way that she was describing it a couple of seconds ago was through a very like visual language, right? Like that. I'm assuming you have a design background, Linda, or
I do a lot of things,
okay,
but like
cool.
I think about design a lot, and I do some design. Sure.
So I'm going to talk about taste too. I'll throw my 2 cents in here real quick because it's a point that I wanted to make about art and like visual and things like that. So in my career, I worked in fine dining and the plate is the canvas. So the visual is still there, but it is a culinary art. So technically, the food is the thing that nourishes you. It's the art that nourishes you. So it's more than just the visual thing. It actually, you ingest it and it becomes part of the experience. So like you can't eat Van Gogh, right? Um, I mean, maybe you could eat Van Gogh, right? Maybe the banana with the tape on the wall. I guess you could eat that as
Didn't
well.
somebody eat that?
Did they? Did
I'm
they?
pretty sure somebody did eat that. Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah. If you put that up there and say it's like $23 billion or whatever, like some Muppet's gonna go up and just take a chunk out of it. You know?
Yeah, I think another thing about I think it's interesting because like as humans we kind of have these like five senses to like interface with the world, right? We're like consciousness embodied, and then our
Mm.
bodies like have different ports. Like we have eyes, we have a nose, we have like a mouth, and we have like skin. We can feel things, and
Braille.
like different mediums interface with like different combinations of these like these sensory ports. So then like with food, it's like you get smell, you get taste, you get visuals, and you can also like feel the texture.
Crunch.
Yeah, and then you need to like find a way to like choreograph all of these different inputs into a way that like communicates something to the person who's going to consume your food. I think also another really interesting about food.
Hearing. We missed the
texture. Fuck, it's
Talking about the
everything.
sizzle. Dang, when they bring out that fajita tray and it's like
Sizzle. Yeah, sell the sizzle.
That's wetting the palate right there. The fajita sizzle.
Shoot, you're right. I guess it's like it has like it's like astrology where like you have all five senses, or like you have like all five like houses in your like star chart, and then certain ones like peak more for different mediums, or like different like certain like types of certain mediums.
I'm just saying I want to hear my food. I don't,
Yeah.
I need to shout.
Yeah, wait, no, I'm agreeing. I think it's like all five senses. It's like full on sensory sensation experience.
This
I
is
mean,
so,
like on the topic of taste, I mean, I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and the development of taste and the I don't know, the flavors of the cuisine here as they traversed from Europe through Canada and then down here, right? I mean, it's and then how poverty informed so much the kinds of foods that could be had, and how the literal biome and living in a swamp like influenced the kinds of food and the taste of the food that you can have. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I do find it very interesting, and then I find it also like quite monotonous, actually. Like some of the most beloved restaurants in this town, I'm just like, everything tastes exactly the same. There's no nuance, because most of the food, quite honestly, is quite disgusting. And so they just like pour a lot of like hot, spicy stuff on it, right? And so, but if there's a little, and then some of it's very good. I mean, I find po' boy bread, which they put more water in it to extend the flour because everyone was poor, right? Po' boy, right? I find that to be quite delicious. And what's interesting now is that you have a separation of the actual need of a society to create and innovate inside of the constraints of poverty, right? We're so divorced. I mean, people are still poor as shit down here. Like, let's just be real. But like, then you have, like down at the end of my block, past the fraternity bar, there's, one of the finest, dining establishments in town, and they will serve you literal saltine crackers, and deconstructed boudin sausage in a little tray, and that used to be, however much, pennies, and they'll charge you like $20 for that much, for like 5 saltine crackers and a deconstructed boudin. And I go a little further down the street to Benny's gas station, get a $2 stick of boudin, and that's much more delicious. And heck, I got my own saltine crackers. Talking about taste.
Well, why is anyone talking about AI down there?
About just me. No, actually, you want to know what? Yeah, there's we have LSU as a major university. There's a lot of really interesting stuff, happening there. So yeah, plenty of people. But then also, I hang out with the normies at church sometimes, and they're doing. You want to know what? Actually, the normies seem kind of happy.
Yo, yeah.
The normies seem
like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need to stay away and not give a fuck, and you could stay above the fray. Like I think like speaking tech and things like that, Apple kind of did that. You know what I mean? They didn't feel like they needed to come out with their own frontier model or anything like that. They were just kind of just chilling back, and one of those things, right? Sometimes you could just sit one out for a little bit and wait to see what everybody else is doing, and then plunk yourself in there and kind of, make the decisions.
What do you think Steve Jobs would think about all this?
Wow. I mean, Steve was a designer, right? You know what I mean? Like he was very focused on like topography and like how the shapes of letters came together and how that played into the feel of things. He was very tactile and like that's why when you open up the original iPhone and everything, the box was almost as important design wise to the actual phone itself. It was part of that, that taste experience, going back to it, Um, but were you guys even alive for Steve Jobs?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
36. Don't worry. I'm 30.
Oh, okay, okay.
We have a nice spread. We have a nice spread going on here.
It is a good spread, and
Spread.
different geographies too. You know what I mean? South, northeast, west coast. Like that's a pretty good mix there. You couldn't have planned this.
Do you do this all the time and I just didn't know? Are you like some massive YouTuber and I just had no idea?
No, I'm fucking around and finding out right now. So like,
I
I
love
literally
it.
signed up for this Restream thing, and I was just like, whatever, who's online, right? And what's funny is I put it out on X, and then the X feed fed me Linda, and this is the first time I've ever spoke to her. Like,
Oh,
this
what's
is
up?
wild. You know,
James
New
makes
friends.
amazing quiche.
Okay, yep. I
That
do.
quiche I had, and I'm not sure if I'm ever going to come back to New York City, but I was there at one of his restaurants a couple months ago, and yeah, was there goat cheese in that? Yeah, that was good.
Goat cheese. Yep,
Goat
yep.
cheese in the quiche,
Yeah.
Dang.
pretty great.
Known for my quiche now. Internet, be on notice.
And a billion dollar quiche apparently. No, yeah, I was just sitting here by myself, alone, drinking this is actually a nice electrolyte drink. I like to reuse my big gulp cups.
Okay, a little Chick-fil-A.
I get I got the 30 nug last night because it was my turn with my daughter, and tonight's my night off. So I decided that I didn't give a shit anymore, and I was gonna rip some sick replies, which is how we ended up here.
Nice.
So
Very nice. Very
yeah.
nice. Linda, talk to me. Tell me what's going on in SF. You're in the office right now. What do you do at the office? Are people in the office actually?
No, I kind of just I'm like writing a lot and thinking about life and feeling existential.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah, but I also live here. It's like a loft. So like
Oh.
there's like these like staircases and I just live upstairs and then I come downstairs and I work and I think about life and then sometimes I go outside.
Sick.
How often do
Yeah.
you go outside, do you think?
Like every day. I go outside a decent amount.
Like how far outside of your house though?
It depends. Like yesterday there's this place called the Palace of Fine Arts in SF. It's really pretty. It's like this Greek looking structure in the Presidio area. And I went across the city for that. And we just like sat there for like 2 hours and someone brought like a DJ deck and we just like danced around. It's pretty fun.
Sick.
Wait, is there more than one? Is this it?
Yeah, it's like just one big structure and it's like lit up at night. It looks really cool.
With yeah, wait, can I share my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah, I
this.
think you can. Let's experiment with this.
Share my screen, entire screen over here. No, this right here. Boom. Did it show up?
Let's see.
Oh.
Add to scene.
Oh my god, yeah.
Sick.
Oh,
Refresh. Let's refresh. Here we go.
well, yeah, it looks like that.
What?
Oh, we didn't go inside of it though. We were just like kind of in the outside.
You should have got angel statues in there. That'd be like a sick rave. Roller skating.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, true.
Roller skating, yes. Oh my god, battle royale. Just everybody.
Oh, that could be good.
Everybody fends
Laser
for
tag.
themselves.
The problem, I tried to go laser tagging here, and it was just like really humid, and then the gear, like the vests, stank like teenage boys, and I was just like, I'm not This is not what I signed up for. I feel like roller skating could really be back.
There's a place in Brooklyn that I was almost a part of that's an indoor skating rink, and he's got a pretty interesting model. He takes it's a big giant warehouse. This is in like Bushwick or whatever the heck it is, right? And he takes the skating, and the skating is like a free for all, and then they do shows. So the rink will convert into an actual show. So they'll have like bands and DJs and like all this stuff because you just have that massive open kind of like circular pit, if you would. And they have kind of like concession stand style food. So hot dogs and like all sorts of other stuff, but you can drink cocktails and get hammered and like is a pretty good model because you don't need too many like staff or anything like that. You basically just have bartenders, and then when you want to skate, there's like the automated machines where you could just rent. It's like a vending machine almost for your shoes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like or your skates rather. So and you have
Sure.
lockers and that kind of thing.
Do they have the it'd be sick if they do the music or like the entertainment in the center and then you can skate around them? Like a theater in the round?
I could, yeah, that could be interesting. I
Because
don't know if
then
they
you
did.
could skate and it's like live band karaoke. You know what I mean? It's like you get the experience, but you're also doing something that's not passive.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's probably some liability there.
yeah, no drinking and skating.
Oh
That'd
no,
be
there's
lit.
plenty of that. There was plenty of that when I was in sixth grade. I was a DJ. I was a DJ at the local roller rink because and really what that was my best friend's stepdad owned the roller rink, so I got to call myself a DJ.
Hmm.
And like birthday parties and stuff. But on a Friday night, they'd bus in the kids from the other town, and there were plenty of drinking for
Oh
sure in
yeah,
rural Wisconsin. Yes, sir.
yep, yep. The big to do for that night.
I kind of miss it. The
Hmm.
90s and the early aughts, man.
I miss malls. Like I miss the experience of like shopping for things. You know what I mean? Where I go and just like, like you shop the longest when you have the least amount of money. You know what I mean? Like when you were a kid, you had like 40 bucks if you were lucky, and you would be like, I'm holding on to this. I'm gonna look at every shirt in this fucking
Oh
Hollister.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
I
mean?
have
Like,
I still remember my greatest buyer's remorse,
oh
actually,
yeah?
from a mall. I was probably in seventh or eighth grade,
Hmm.
and I bought a $50 PacSun hoodie
Okay.
from like some random skateboard brand that like I didn't have any kind of affiliation or care with. But I was like, this is like what the hot chicks are wearing right now. I'm gonna buy it. And it was so uncomfortable and a little small, and I was too embarrassed to return it. My greatest buyer's regret.
That's funny.
I remember it so clearly.
Do you still have it?
No.
This is so funny. I'm getting shout outs from people who want to get they want to get shouted out on the live stream.
Oh, let's hear
So
it.
shout out to you, Zach. Zach's in Austin. He was he created the intro for the All In Pod.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, the
That's
poker
cool.
cards.
Nice.
Yeah,
Way to go, Zach from Austin.
Zach from Austin. He's got a
Great work.
girlfriend. You know.
Aw,
Yeah,
that
big
sounds
to
nice.
do. Big to do.
I
uh,
won't have anybody asking for a shout out because I don't have any friends.
yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, why would I be here?
Shout out to moms everywhere. You know.
Moms everywhere. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Father's Day this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Nobody cares about fathers. Come on, let's be honest here. You know.
Which is kind of sad.
They're gonna be like, sit on this couch and have a beer, Dad.
What was that? Did something fall off your desk?
Oh no, it's making noise in the background.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta end this with some hot takes. What are your hottest takes, Linda? You had some hot takes you wanted to drop.
Hot takes right now. Like what category? I feel like I have a lot of hot takes.
We did talk about taste. What's the hottest take? Let's see. Well, actually, for 19-year-olds everywhere, what's the hottest take for 19-year-olds? Like, what's the thing? Like,
I think generally for like young people,
hmm
um, I'd say the thing that people really need to do is like start making things.
yeah,
Because I think in the future, where we're already seeing this, right? Where like even software engineers can't find jobs
yep,
because AI can kind of do everything. It's really important to like make a lot of things and like develop a personal like style or aesthetic that you can kind of mark everything you touch with, because that's going to be like the only thing that's going to differentiate you like in the future. I think just
right.
like knowing things that everyone else knows, or like you can get by like looking, like asking ChatGPT, is no longer going to like be defensible in the future. And I think if you like, yeah, everyone has like internet access now, so there's like not really much of an excuse not to like make things and like make them public.
Ooh, actually, I've the opposite hot take on that. So
Mm,
that software is like ambiguous and everybody can create it. Sometimes it's the things that you don't ship that become the economic moat for you. And so, what do I mean by that? So, like, take for example, a proprietary algorithm or something like that that a prop trading firm might have, right? That might be their edge in the
mhm.
marketplace, you know?
I
So some
think like
things that
I think software's commoditized, but I think like IP isn't. I think
yes,
like there's private and public information, and the goal of public information is to eat all the private information, and the goal of private information is to accumulate more private information that the public information can't get.
That's interesting.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I think another thing about it is like style, like design, right? Like if you can design something over and over again in like a consistent style, then like that is something that can't be like publicly done. At least not yet.
Mm,
Linda, have you ever read this book? It's actually not a book. It's an articulation of a speech and then also some essays by this dude named Rollo May called The Courage to Create.
don't know, man.
No,
Yeah, you should look it up here. I'll
the
pop it open
courage
just
to
on the
create.
Googs. Here.
Mm,
I'll share my screen again. Bing bang boom.
how we do? Ready?
Here comes this guy
Bing.
right here. The Courage to Create. 1975, existential psychologist, Rollo May. It's a quick read, but what you said reminded me of something that I learned from reading that. And I actually listened. I think there's an audiobook version too. You can gobble it up in like 45 minutes or so or something, right? Um, but the at like that the act of creation happens in the space between, you know, the experience of the world and the person experiencing it, and that when
Mm,
you close that gap, the synthesis of the experiential and the experiencer is the place where the creation of new can come from. And
Mm.
so I don't know, it's like, I mean, you like listen, it was like, you know, that's holy shit, 50 years ago, my lord. But I would check it out just in terms of, and like, you know, take it with what, how do you stop sharing your screen? Take it with whatever grains of pink Himalayan salt you got to take it with, right? You know, it's just written by a dude in 1975.
mm,
But I do think that like I talk to people a lot about writing and expression and the articulation of their identity through their expression. And it's literally the only thing that differentiates us from anybody else. Even then, like everybody is a type,
Mhm.
right? But like, you know, you being you, like every single possible variable that has ever occurred, like to create you and your experience, like you're it. You're the only one, right? And so I totally agree with you that like, is taste one of the only moats remaining? Sure, but where does that taste come from? Your particular experience, and that's your intellectual property for sure. For
mm.
sure, dog. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Software's going long tail.
I think also something about software becoming like easier to use is like it just becomes an art form. Like it becomes another way to create. Like it's like almost as accessible as like buying a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Like,
and yet,
wait, sorry.
No. I was the physical creation. I'm trying to learn to crochet. Is not going well.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to, like, when I was younger, I used to, like, you know, dweedle and just like blankets abound, right? But I'm trying to make this little raccoon like figurine, and I'm like,
I mean,
I literally can't get past the third stitch.
Like a 3D crochet.
Yeah, like
that's pretty cool. Like really cool.
Well, it is, and it's actually quite advanced. And I'm trying to do it with my daughter, and I'm just like, you know, I'm trying to like learn with her, and I'm like, I think she's fine. No, she's just like going, you know, but she's like small fingers, and I can't. But as a parent, also, it's been like, it's very interesting must be very interesting for her to see me like literally not be able to do something.
Yeah.
So I've been really trying to model like the not being frustrated at not being able to do something because I'm a beginner. And then also at the same time, I'm like, it's like trying to do it. It's fine. Anyway, you should check out that book, or don't. I don't know.
I will. I'm like writing like a thesis right now because I'm trying to like, I want to like formalize my stance on taste because I want to like maybe start a podcast series. It's called like taste testing, where I sit down with like various people and like ask them about their thoughts on taste and like assess like, because I think I'm like a very subjective person. Like I kind of just like understand things like by talking to as many people about that thing as possible. And I just want to talk to as many people as possible about taste so that I can like begin to solidify like the little edges of my thesis.
I love it.
Yeah. And I think it'd be fun to like have my guests like eat things too. Like it could be like hot ones, but like we talk about taste.
There you go.
I love it. Send me the link. I'm all there.
Fuck yeah.
That could be fun.
People always make fun of people who start podcasts and shit, and I'm like, that's literally the best case scenario.
Dude, it's so simple. People hate on it, you know, because every company is a media company. I don't care what you do. Like you have to, like I'm in the restaurant business, right? Media. Like, you know, it's funny how like, I don't know, the way that society has evolved and is developing, you know, is through these distribution platforms, X, YouTube, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. Like no one's just going to read like your little sentence in your hot take and like be able to, you know, I don't know, it's not going to be as engaging, right? You have to have something that's a little bit more in depth, you know, and it's very sequential in terms of like the order of things, right? If you don't have 5 minutes, you're going to be, if you don't have more than 5 minutes, you're going to be on TikTok. You're just going to scroll real quick, right? You know, whereas if you have like, no. Well, I mean,
yes, I was just checking.
I had one for the restaurant, but I'm not native to that, so that's not me. And also, like, there's certain platforms that you as a man should not be on, right? Like a 44-year-old man should not be on Snapchat. If you're on Snapchat,
there's funny.
Bro,
true.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, true.
Like,
good take.
The short bus for real. Like, you know, you're gonna get voted off the island.
But before I interrupted you to ask you about TikTok, you were talking about the expansion of thought into long form, right?
Yeah.
But based on the amount of time that people have, right, they may not choose or be willing to engage with something like that.
Yeah. Like, and everything is competing for your attention. You know what I mean? Like dining in a restaurant is competing for your attention. Your child is competing for your attention. Like all these things are competing for your attention, you know, and you only have, I said this to somebody who I was mentoring the other day. Yes, we all have 24 hours, but there's also a finite of like really good energy hours that we have. Like you can only apply maybe 3 hours of your day with full energy, full thought, full focus, full dedication. Like, you know, so those are your golden energy hours out of your 24 hours, you know? And it may ebb and flow for people. Like for me, I've experienced it at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't fall asleep or something, or I experienced it like when I first wake up, or you know what I mean? So like you have to know your internal energy and feel it when it's ready to focus to dedicate towards something. And what you dedicate it towards is very important, you know?
I'm also very interested in this idea of like, so like we're talking about like information consumption, right? Um,
Mhm.
I'm really interested in like information efficiency, like the speed at which you can communicate ideas with other people. Um,
Mm,
I ran like a couple of experiments. I like downloaded some of like the open source AI models the other day, and I was like running tests on like English, like reasoning in English versus reasoning in Chinese. So it's like with an LLM, it's like basically you ask it a question, right? And then it takes your input, it thinks for a little bit, it reasons, and then it spits a result back out at you. And it reasons in like tokens, right? So a token is like a set amount of like words or characters. And so there's different tokenizers for English and there's different tokenizers for Mandarin because the language is like structured so
Oh, there's
differently.
a spider.
yeah.
Go on.
And I like in my head, like my original hypothesis was like, oh, Mandarin has like much fewer characters per per sentence. So I think it would take less tokens to reason in Mandarin versus to reason in English.
Interesting.
And I ran these tests, and actually, it came out that Mandarin took more tokens to reason than English.
Oh,
And but it took fewer characters. So like in fewer characters, Mandarin like use more tokens. So this could be either like because one, like all the tokenizers are like based off of English, but it could also
yeah.
just be because like there is like more dense information contained within per character for Chinese.
That's interesting.
And it's not about like, and it's not exactly about like number of words, but like how much those words actually mean.
Yeah, like more possible meaning to be interpreted. And then I mean, I don't know. I have an extremely rudimentary, cursory knowledge of what you're talking about, but just in terms of linguistics, right? Like how much of Mandarin when it's spoken, first of all, is it spoken? I know there's a bunch of different versions of that language and then
So Mandarin's like
how
the
much
written
how
language.
much is inferred and articulated, how much meaning is inferred and articulated by the phonetic pronunciation. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And like, does the LLM, does the linguistic model lose out on that because it's not being spoken?
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about this, right? Because Mandarin is like a tonal language, right?
Yeah.
So like instead of like tone implying emotion, tone actually implies meaning.
Yeah.
And so it becomes extremely efficient to communicate verbally. And also like to read if you like know what it sounds like. Like you kind of like in Mandarin, like you kind of read it and like it gets played into sound first. At least that's how I interpret it.
That's crazy.
And so it's like super efficient for people, but maybe not so much for machines.
Yeah, I mean, you still have that from between, in English between this spider really does not want to get on the stream. I'm trying to get this spider on this piece of paper, and it's just like, nah, bish, I'm camera shy.
Yeah.
Even when you have like a text message exchange with somebody, and then like it gets misinterpreted in English because it's like what you said. They're projecting their own interpretation of what you've said onto it. And you're like, no, I have resting bitch voice in my text messages, I guess. Right. So, but that is interesting that in order to read the context of the language or in order to read the meaning, it's burning through more tokens because it's trying to contextualize without cues that human to humans would have. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and these are all text-based, optimized for text-based, right? So like when they become voice-based, because you're right, it's trying to understand your intent, right? It's trying to discover your intent, when you're doing this. But Linda, you bring up such an actually very, very valid and very important thing, right? Like, all right, so there's 26 letters in the alphabet, right? How many is in Mandarin or Chinese?
So it's not like there's no alphabet. There is a phonetic alphabet called like pinging, and there's like letters and shit. But
there's all letters and shit. I love it.
But for but like the phonetics actually doesn't like imply anything but the meaning. Like having a P doesn't imply much. It's more about the like the sound or the tone. So you get characters with different like word parts, and they're constructed together. And I think there's a few. Let me see. How many Chinese characters are there? There's over 100,000.
Crazy.
Like like they're just characters, like equivalent to a letter, I guess, in terms of like how we understand language.
What? Really? I'm cooked.
I miss the good old days. No.
Well, those are James.
Well,
this is an ancient language. Those are the good old days.
Actually, that is actually true. That's funny. You know what? I read just a quick blurb of on this YouTube channel that I watch all the time, and the caption, the headline was basically like, "You're never going back to where you were." Right? Like the world has changed, right? Fundamentally, right? There's just no going back to the old playbook of what you used to have work, right? You can have an idea, you can overlay that with like what you think it's going to be, but like the world has fundamentally changed. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think we're heading for like any of this kind of crazy universal basic income crap, like all this utopian society shit. I also don't think the opposite, where like it's the end of the world and the machines are going to eat our brains, like, and that kind of thing. So like there's an unpredicted future that we can't possibly fathom right now that is being played out in real time, and this brings up such very valid points, right? Like the greatest open source models right now are in China, right? Like the greatest closed source models are in America, right? They're two different perspectives and two different ways of going about solving the same problem, and it's interesting that that's engineering thought 101, is like there's many different ways to solve a problem, right? So how could you solve a problem that you don't even know what the problem is?
Yeah, I think it's just like, yeah, I feel like this AI race thing is just like, it's like morbid human curiosity. Like we just want to know what we could make. And I think on the topic of like this like UBI, like post scarcity mindset, I think it's so like there's no like we don't know where the like the trajectory of the world can like is like instantaneous, right? Like at any given moment it's changing its trajectory. And I think it's important to push forward the narrative that you want, because I don't know if AI development is going to stop anytime soon. I think we will like drain the earth dry before AI development stops, because of just like the people working on it and like the amount of capital that's being pushed towards it. Like not that it's like the optimal solution, but I think like Elon Musk's whole thesis, like, if we deplete Earth of its resources, we'll just go to Mars. And I'm not defending him, but like
I'm ready for Daddy Elon to put a computer in my brain. So let's just be
trillionaire. Let's go.
Well, no, I raised an eyebrow at drain the earth dry because I was thinking today about like the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, that's true.
And how it's like, we talk about, people talk about how, the climate's changing, oceans rising, glaciers melting, all the polar bears are dying and whatever. It's all very sad. I'm just like, the bottom of the ocean is a place that we cannot go. Right. And so, I'm really not worried about the planet, because like none of the dinosaurs are here. And like, it's just like eras, right? Now,
population.
If Elon's going to get us, into the cosmos, and that's the future of our species, then by all means, take the money. Let's go. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, like I'm not like, people get all caught up, and I used to a little bit too, just in terms of, like AI takeoff and all the velocity and all the dooming, and it's going to end up like the Matrix with the sky scorched and people living underground and all this stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, everything's going to be fine.
Nobody wants to live underground with me. Don't worry.
Well, I mean, we could have roller skate raves and you make quiche. So, it's not, I'm just like not, I think that, but I want to take to task what you said, James, in terms of, it's like the old way is gone. Because I think that the velocity of technology has rapidly outpaced, many people's ability to, maybe keep up with it. But then, it's like, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it is, but it's like, I got a flip phone, I'm good. I got the best possible iPhone thing that you can get. And then also somewhere in one of those drawers, I have to find it. Oh, it's right in here. I got a flip phone too, and then, but it's also like, again, going back to taste and intellectual property and like the only moats that remain. I mean, I think that, being human and the needs of being human, the biological needs of being human, I love it because it's like,
that is actually kind of cute.
Isn't it cute? I love it too because I can just be like, wait, I haven't had it out in a while.
Is that a razor?
And then, boop, boop, boop. And then it has the alphanumeric. You can't even, and then it's like it literally slows you down. And then you can't even read a whole message on the screen. I really love it.
That's really funny.
I love it so much.
So, all right, I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said now too. Ready? So AI, right? It creates more output, right? When you create more output, that means that has to be someone else's input, right? So if I type in a sentence and it spits out a book, who the hell is going to read that book? You know what I mean? Like, it's an input, right? So like, this is the whole thing about like disrupting lawyers and shit like that, is like, you're going to type in a thing and it's going to print out a contract. Okay, well, someone has to read that contract. And right now, what AI is creating is a bunch of shit that nobody's reading and they're getting caught with their pants down. You know what I mean? Which is the whole point that you have a lawyer in the first place. You had a lawyer to review your contract to make sure you didn't fuck anything up.
Yeah.
So it's a funny thing that like now we have this abundant output, but humans are still the input, Humans are still the receiving of this. Like, how many emails can you not read? You know what I mean?
I think when I think it's like somewhat analogous to like the people on Twitter who just like tweet with no views or likes. It's like just like talking into a void, and but talking into a void that is not free, like it takes a certain amount of energy, it takes a certain amount of time out of your day to like type your tweets and post it into the void. And maybe at a certain point you realize, okay, this is not hitting anyone, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna get my shit together.
How is that different? How is that different than journaling? You know what I mean? Well, I mean, like, obviously there's a lot of differences, but I'm just like, it's just like, the people who are just tweeting into the void. I mean, that's just expression, and expression of thought is, uniquely human, right? Until the AI is, and every time that AI, sorry, I just like interrupted everybody. But, like when they had like Claw Book or whatever, or like Molt Book or whatever, where it was like, everybody already forgot about that and it ended up being some big hoax. That all the AI, open claws were, agents were like going and they created their own social network and stuff. And like, whether it was a hoax or not, I mean, I don't really know. But like the spontaneous act of expression and also the desire and the need for expression, bless you. Because sometimes, you want to know what? Sometimes I talk to Claude, my boyfriend, I go doodle-doo-doo, and then the little thing goes whirly, 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 and no output. I'm like, just like a human man. Just like a human man. Okay, all right.
Didn't pay the bill.
But Linda, I'm sorry.
Not talking to me anymore. I forgot to pay him.
That most of my relationships are like that anyway. So let's just be transactional.
Speaking of like, throwing stuff in the void, I've had some banger tweets where I'm like, this is the one. This is gonna transcend. Nothing. No one liked.
I
And I
like
was like,
most.
come
I
on,
like when
guys,
I
what are
see them.
we
I usually
doing
like a
here?
James Shield tweet. You want to know what? Tonight I was ripping replies because I just don't give a shit anymore. I
Yeah.
really don't, and I could actually be way more unhinged. But it's just like a ramp up, you know. Like I don't know. Do you know Cassandra Hartford? Like she's making a round. She's like, I'm gonna shit post 50 tweets a day until I'm big. I love her, and I'm like, you're being weak. You're pulling your punches. But I just thought to myself, it's just like.
That's funny.
I got nothing on the line anymore, you know, and so I'm just like, I could be a lot meaner. But to me,
Oh my gosh.
go.
I have a thought.
I interrupted you, so you can interrupt me now. Go.
When you said that, like, okay, remember how we were talking about earlier about how like taste is the only moat?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think taste is the only moat. I think there is two things: taste and trust. Because
I'm listening.
in a certain way, like trust is kind of like an indication of how much taste you hold, right? Or how valuable your takes on the world are. And I think that's why like I feel like people are feeling more than ever that they want to build a personal brand, that they want to get followers, right? Because your following is an indication of like how much attention you are worthy of. The importance of the people following you is also like a sort of like indication, right? So like if you're tweeting 50 times a day and people love you and like people are following you and you have like 10,000 followers on Twitter, like 100,000 followers on Twitter, people like are like, oh wait, like maybe this person's thoughts and shit posts are like worth taking into account, and you can like kind of shape the way people think about things. I think it's so cool. We're so malleable.
Well, it's great, and then it's also like follower count doesn't mean shit. Like you know, I've got.
Doesn't.
You know, I'm subbed 1,000. I don't give a shit. You want to know? And this is the point I was actually leading up to was that like the couple of like some of the replies I've left on bigger accounts, you know what I mean? Not that I'm doing it for validation, but it is a nice little treat when you know the big account is like, oh boop, you get a little like good girl, you know what I mean? Just like boop heart, good girl, you know what I mean? On some big accounts, right? And I'm just like, you know, that I respect their hot takes. So I'm just like, I know, I'm like, ha 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 ha, because also it's just like, you know, they're just tweeting in the void too. We're all just floating on a big rock in space, just tweeting into the void. Because who, if they were actually really okay, would be hanging out on Twitter on a Friday night?
Yeah. Who is watching this? What are you doing right now?
Who watches The Watchmen?
Yeah, we're just chuds.
Oh, I did. You want to know what though? I did just get invited to another stream.
Oh.
I'm very popular. You were gonna talk shit about shit. Say your shit.
I was gonna talk shit about shit. All right, so I gotta get this book. I've had enough of you, Will.
Linda, what's your handle, babe?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
XUELINDA 7.
XU E.
Linda and then 7.
I found you.
Okay.
Talk shit about this book to me because I've been psyop.
Do you see this, Will?
Willie G.
So Willie G, for those who don't know, wrote a book, and he worked at 11 Madison Park as the general manager originally under Danny Myers, another person I have beef with, and then eventually became the owner of 11 Madison Park, one of the greatest restaurants of all time. So, excuse me. He writes this book, Unreasonable Hospitality, The Remarkable Power of Giving People More Than They Expected. Okay. Here's the hot take, because everybody fucking loves this guy, okay? Everybody loves this guy. There's economics that are into giving people everything that they want. Yes, if you have $26 million to burn every year, you can do shit that other restaurants can't. They never made a fucking profit. So you can't write a book about taking LP money, lighting it on fire by giving it away, and be cheered for it. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, you can't. Well, it is fucking ridiculous, James. And none of this surprises me because, you know, I came from the arts and entertainment business, which business is a laughable word to attach to that.
Yeah.
Because nobody, they're not running it like a business. That's not a business. That's a hobby.
That's a hobby.
And then so you have people who don't run businesses and who don't give a shit about, you know, revenue and profit. They just give a shit about feelings and what's the word, virtue signaling, right? And unreasonable hospitality is a very nice trendy nice. Do you know what I mean? And it's also like
box.
Yeah. So I get it. And you want to know what I want to encourage you to do? I want you to actually tweet about it. Like, right, like you know what I mean? Like, this is why this doesn't make any sense as a business.
I should start just telling truths.
I think that you should sometimes you should stop being a little mood, although it seems like you've gotten out of that funk that you were in like a year ago.
Oh, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm in there now. I'm on all the depressed tweets, and I'm just like, ha ha ha. I'm in my mood. But yeah, I mean, I
everything
think
else,
actually
everything
talking
is
about the restaurant business and like why that is a problem, and then like why that sets a precedent that's problematic for other restaurants being profitable to be held to expectations. Yeah, I think that's a strong. It might even be an article, long form, bruh.
There's a lot of bullshit that occurs in hospitality. If you raise money to go get awards and things like that, like there's a thing that happens, like when you try to shoot for like New York Times 3 stars or something like that, you'll usually start off with like the nicest plates and like the nicest silverware, and eventually all that shit breaks and you can't afford to replace that. So then you start getting the cheaper shit after you get your review, So like there's a lot of that gamesmanship where you will burn through investor capital money, and like there's a ton of people in New York City who have money and they love to say that they own a restaurant and all that other stuff, but there's no practicality towards a lot of the operations of these businesses. So yes, I should write a decent amount about the economics of fake hospitality.
Tell the truth.
Almost like the way Uber subsidized all the rides, gained all the market share, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait a second, we're number one now. And then like jack those through the roof. Now you're paying the real rates,
Yeah.
Guys, I have to run. But it was so great. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Live stream. You guys are amazing.
We'll do it again. This is great. All right.
Peace out.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Don't flip chocolate chip. You got to do CTAs. Ready? Like, subscribe, follow Linda, follow Fly, follow
Don't
me.
follow me. I'm really mean.
Comment down below if you agree.
Terrible human beings.
All right. Bye.